Every offseason, hope springs anew for NFL fans all across the country.
What is your Super Bowl prediction?
Oh, man, we're going to win the Super Bowl this year. Knock on wood.
Super Bowl, we're going to go all the way. Duh.
How about we take a look ahead at the 2025 NFL season and run through every team's best possible outcome for the next year. Arizona Cardinals win the NFC West. It has been a turbulent few seasons out in the desert, but if all the pieces come together just right, the NFC West could very well be the Cardinals for the taking. If Kyler Murray can stay healthy for the entire season, and they can get some legitimate production out of their wide receiver room in addition to Trey McBride, well, this team could be capable of making a legit run. Atlanta Falcons win the NFC South. The Atlanta Falcons are going to need a big year from second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. to do it, but if he can find his stride in year two, well, who's to say that the Falcons can't win the NFC South? Atlanta also did well to bolster its defense this offseason, adding speed and youth to its defensive front. Baltimore Ravens, Lamar Jackson conquers playoff demons and wins a Super Bowl. Baltimore is coming off another excellent season with a disappointing finish with an early playoff exit, something that is unfortunately becoming a bit of a staple of the Lamar Jackson experience in the Charm City. He needs to find a way to keep his regular season performance level once the postseason comes around. Buffalo Bills, Super Bowl. With the addition of a few key veterans, guys like Joey Bosa at defensive end and Josh Palmer at receiver are a good indication that the Bills are pushing their chips into the middle of the table and are ready to go for it. Carolina Panthers, Bryce Young takes another leap. This is a young and improving team. We saw them, their former first overall pick at quarterback included, progress in a significant way in the back half of 2024. And that should be the target. Chicago Bears, wildcard berth. Last year, the Bears were the odd man out with Detroit, Green Bay, and Minnesota all making the playoffs. A painful result for the Chicago faithful, to say the least. They did add a couple of nice pieces to their offensive line this offseason, though, and furthering their ability to protect Caleb Williams should pay dividends, both to their playoff hopes and his development. Cincinnati Bengals, AFC Championship game. With Joe Burrow healthy, the sky is the limit for the Bengals. Well, almost the limits. We aren't entirely convinced that the Bengals, given their defensive woes, are going to be able to get over the hump when it comes down to it, especially if the situation with last year's sack leader Trey Hendrickson continues to sour. AFC title game is as far as we see this team going. Cleveland Browns, Shedeur Sanders is the steal of the draft. It's time for the organization to turn the page, and what better way to do that than with Shedeur Sanders proving all the haters and doubters, of which there are apparently many, wrong by becoming the franchise quarterback as a rookie. Dallas Cowboys, NFC East. Sure, Philly has the making of a juggernaut, and the Commanders look like they are really building something around Jaden Daniels. But this is the NFC East that we're talking about, and it feels like every other year, it's a new winner. And if Dallas can stay healthy and leverage the strength that they added at offensive line through the draft, hey, they might just be able to take the crown. Denver Broncos win a playoff game. The emergence of Bo Nix and the Denver Broncos was one of the biggest surprises around the NFL last season, and Denver snuck into the wildcard round. It's a long shot that they outpaced the Kansas City Chiefs in the AFC West across the entirety of the season, but the wildcard is very much within reach. And if they get in, hey, don't be shocked if they build on their experience from last year and win a game. Detroit Lions win the Super Bowl. It is Super Bowl or bust this year for Dan Campbell and the Detroit Lions. They just need to get over the hump, and even without Ben Johnson running the offense, they have as good a chance as anyone to win the Super Bowl. Green Bay Packers, second place in the NFC North. Green Bay had a quiet but effective offseason, adding a couple of nice pieces to shore up weaknesses on the offensive line and in the defensive secondary with Aaron Banks and Nate Hobbs respectively. They're expected to miss Christian Watson for a good chunk of the year, but nothing new there. Hopefully, the addition of Matthew Golden through the draft will help offset the loss and put the Packers in a position to stay close enough to the Lions in the division that they can outpace the Bears and Vikings. Houston Texans, AFC Championship game appearance. Houston was frustrating to watch last year, plain and simple. The offensive line couldn't slow anyone down, and they decided to blow the whole thing up, trading away their lone stalwart, Laramie Tunsil, and bringing in a bunch of fresh blood with Cam Robinson, Laken Tomlinson, and Trent Brown, plus drafting Arante Ersuri in the second round. If they can protect Stroud this season, well, we could see them sneak out a deep playoff run. Indianapolis Colts, first overall pick. I know Indy thinks that it can be competitive, but it's time to face the truth. The Anthony Richardson pick has been a disaster, and it's hard to believe that Daniel Jones, who was brought in as competition, is the answer. If the Colts lose a few games early, which they very well may, they should consider tanking for a top pick to try and find a franchise quarterback. Jacksonville Jaguars, Travis Hunter proves to be generational. The Jaguars' new regime made a huge swing in the draft, trading up to take Travis Hunter at 2 overall. Jacksonville absolutely needs him and Trevor Lawrence to find some rapport and get this franchise going back in the right direction again. Kansas City Chiefs hoist the Lombardi Trophy again. As painful as last year's loss in the Super Bowl was, the Kansas City Chiefs will always be contenders with Andy Reid and Patrick Mahomes leading the charge. And in 2025, coming off of that humiliating loss, we should expect them to come out with a vengeance. Las Vegas Raiders, Ashton Jeanty leads the league in rushing. He may be getting up there in age, but Pete Carroll knows how to bring the energy and change the culture in an organization. Look for him and Geno to revitalize the Raiders in year 1. And for their 6th overall pick in the draft, Ashton Jeanty to have a special season as a rookie. Los Angeles Chargers, Super Bowl. Don't look now, but the Los Angeles Chargers look for real. If Justin Herbert can take the next step forward, the Chargers could surprise everyone and win it all. Los Angeles Rams, NFC Championship game. Sean McVay and Matthew Stafford are a dangerous combination. They got a serious chance at making a deep playoff run, especially with the NFC West projecting to have a bit of a down year. Miami Dolphins win the AFC East and lose in a cold playoff game. 2024 was painful for Miami, but if they, well, namely Tua, Tyreek, and Waddle, can stay healthy, well, they have a chance at overtaking the Bills in the AFC East. Minnesota Vikings, JJ McCarthy is a star. The Vikings are betting big on JJ this year after casting aside last year's starter Sam Darnold. Now, JJ just needs to hold up his end of the bargain. New England Patriots, Mike Vrabel changes everything. After 2 decades of dominance, the post-Brady era has been hard for the Pats. They desperately need to see signs of life, and Mike Vrabel could just be the guy to do it. New Orleans Saints, tank. New Orleans has been in purgatory for what feels like an eternity. And the fact of the matter is that they have a pretty low ceiling coming into this year. Their best case scenario is that they tank and start rebuilding for the future. New York Giants find a quarterback. New York took a wide net approach this offseason, signing Russell Wilson and Jameis Winston, then trading up to get Jackson Dart in the first round. Dable needs one of those guys to step up this year if the Giants want to change the narrative around this team. New York Jets, wild card round appearance. With the Aaron Rodgers experience now firmly in the rearview mirror, the Jets can take a deep breath. And you know what? With Justin Fields in the fold, they might just surprise people and make a playoff appearance. Philadelphia Eagles, repeat. Will they be able to defend their title this year? Well, there's good reason to believe so. Jalen Hurts is a bona fide winner, and that defense is still young, fast, and hungry. Pittsburgh Steelers lose in the playoffs. Regardless of who they end up with at quarterback, it's really hard to see this iteration of the Steelers doing anything better than what they've done the past few seasons. San Francisco 49ers, 3rd place in the NFC West. Obviously, it is never wise to count out a Kyle Shanahan-led team, but well, currently, things are not looking very promising for the Niners this year. Seattle Seahawks, Sam Darnold renaissance continues. To say that there has been a lot of change in Seattle is a massive understatement. Now it is Sam Darnold's show, and he's gonna be slinging the rock to Jackson Smith-Njigba and Cooper Kupp, and it feels like, well, anything could happen. Tampa Bay Buccaneers, NFC Championship game. Baker Mayfield and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have slowly but surely been building something down in Southwest Florida. And after a couple of solid seasons, we think that this is the year that they make an even deeper playoff run. Tennessee Titans win the AFC South. Okay, I know what you're thinking. The Titans winning the division. Yeah, we're being serious here. Yes, this is the same team that picked first in this year's draft, but they aren't really the same team. The AFC South is open for the taking, and this team might just be able to make it happen. Washington Commanders, Jaden Daniels MVP. Jaden Daniels wasn't the most consistent, but he was just about as clutch as it got, and the Commanders somehow found their way into the NFC Championship game, which I don't think anyone saw coming. Next year, the team may regress a tiny bit, but Jaden is is going to be an early dark horse for MVP honors. And if he hits that high in year 2, then that will be a heck of an outcome for the Commanders. But what do you think is the best possible outcome for your favorite team heading into the 2025 season? What do you think we were right about here? What do you think we're wrong about? Was there anything that we may have missed? Let us know in the comment section below. If you liked this video and learned a thing or two, then hey, clicking that like button helps us out a ton. And you know, we really appreciate it. If this is your first time coming around to TPS though, then subscribing is a great idea because we put out videos like this every single day. But as always, thanks for watching and we'll see you guys next time.